Hey everyone, welcome to another weapon guide for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. This time it's for the dual blades. The dual blades are a pair of light weapons that deal cutting damage through a large number of smaller but extremely fast attacks, while also boasting high mobility. Before we move on, here's a brief look at the chapters that I am going to cover in this video. As usual, I play the game with a mouse and keyboard using base world keys. Check this table for the equivalent keys if you use the Iceborne default keys, or a controller. Now, let's move on to the guide. The first and most important thing to understand about dual blades is about juggling between the three different modes, which are normal mode, demon mode, and archdemon mode. I'll be covering the overall properties of these modes first. Their specific moveset and attacks will be covered in the next chapter. Normal mode is your default mode, and offers the most basic of your attacks. Visually, the hunter will hold both weapons up with a normal grip, and you will have normal movement and normal dodge rolling. Normal mode is something you want to avoid throughout the hunt if possible, because you have better options which will be shown later. Now let's talk about your most important and most powerful mode, demon mode, which you can activate anytime by pressing this button. Your stance changes visually when you are in demon mode. Your hunter will hold the weapons downwards with a reverse grip, and the hunter and weapons would have a red glow. There is no special resource required to activate demon mode, except the fact that your stamina will be constantly drained while demon mode is active. You can activate it on the ground, in the air, and in the middle of combos as long as you're not locked in other animations. You can also activate it when your weapon is sheathed to directly enter demon mode. The activation animation will force you to stop for a short while, and pressing the same button while demon mode is active will deactivate demon mode as long as you are not locked in other animations. As mentioned earlier, your stamina will be drained constantly when demon mode is active until you deactivate it manually, or automatically deactivates when you run out of stamina. Sheathing your weapon by any means will also deactivate demon mode, and will skip the deactivation animation. Latching onto monsters with the clutch claw sheathes your weapon, and thus will deactivate demon mode. Demon mode stays active if you sharpen without sheathing, and also stays active if you get knocked back or stunned by roars, so be mindful of the stamina drain. Now let's look at all the benefits of demon mode you get in exchange for that stamina drain. In demon mode, all your attacks are modified, having stronger attacks as well as unlocking new moves. Most of your offensive strength comes with the demon mode. On top of that, you also gain mobility. Your movement is much faster with this new running animation. Your dodges also become a quick dash with slightly more iframes than rolls. You can dodge sideways or backwards after attacking or after another dodge. The dash dodge consumes a large and fixed amount of stamina to be used, on top of the constant stamina drain in demon mode, so be sure to watch your stamina bar and manage it properly. While demon mode is active, you also get knockback protection from flinches and trips, but not upswings. This knockback protection also protects you from wind pressure. To summarize it, demon mode is your strongest mode and gives you stronger attacks, faster movement speed, better dodges, and knockback protection, at the cost of your stamina constantly being drained. This double sword icon on the top left is known as the demon gauge. When demon mode is activated, the gauge has a red glowing outline. Landing attacks in demon mode will fill up the demon gauge by varying amounts depending on the attack used, and it can only be filled in demon mode. If you exit demon mode before the gauge is full, you will simply return to normal mode. Once you completely fill the gauge, it will start pulsating with a white glow. When this happens, exiting demon mode will put you in archdemon mode instead of normal mode. Archdemon mode is simply an improved version of normal mode and automatically replaces a normal mode after you fill the gauge. It does not affect demon mode. Visually, it shares the same stance as normal mode, but the weapons will have a red glow in Archdemon mode. Compared to normal mode, Archdemon mode provides a small movement speed and attack speed bonus. The two modes mostly share the same moves and attacks, but Archdemon mode will have access to new and better attacks that are not available in normal mode. These moves will drain a fixed portion of the gauge each time they are used. The gauge also slowly drains itself over time in normal and Archdemon mode, even when your weapon is sheathed. Entering demon mode will stop this constant drain. As a matter of fact, you should enter demon mode to recharge the gauge before it becomes completely empty. This allows you to maintain your Archdemon mode when you exit demon mode. You don't even need to fully fill the whole gauge to maintain it. However, if you allow the demon gauge to run completely empty, your Archdemon mode will automatically be downgraded back to normal mode, losing all the benefits. In this case, you will need to fully fill the whole gauge to reactivate Archdemon mode. This is why I mentioned earlier that you should avoid being in normal mode entirely, because Archdemon mode is basically an improved version of normal mode, so you only want to cycle between demon mode and Archdemon mode. Despite its name, Archdemon mode is not stronger than demon mode. It simply allows you to rest and recover stamina while being in an improved normal mode rather than the weaker normal mode. With sufficient stamina, demon mode will still be the priority. Now let's move on to the attacks for each mode. We'll start with demon mode attacks since they are your most powerful attacks. As mentioned before, you can activate demon mode anytime, even if your weapon is sheathed. Left mouse will give you the demon fangs. This is a single hit attack using your right hand. You might wonder why I included useless and unimportant details like which hand you're attacking with. This is because some dual blades will have dual elements or statuses, and the top element is for your left hand only, while the bottom element is for your right hand only. Attacking with each hand will only apply the element or status from that specific hand. While it's not super important, I figured there's no harm specifying the hand used. Left mouse after Demon Fangs is followed by the twofold Demon Slash, a two-hit attack that slashes once with each hand. Left mouse again will then lead to the six-fold Demon Slash, a six-hit attack that slashes 3 times with each hand. This forms a 9-hit combo if you include Demon Fangs and twofold Demon Slash. The last 2 hits has a minor forward step and deals the most damage, while also providing the highest demon gauge build-up if they connect. These 3 attacks make up your basic left mouse combo in demon mode, serving as a decent damage dealer and has the highest demon gauge build-up. Landing the full 6-fold combo fills up about 75% of your demon gauge. Keep in mind that the complete combo is quite lengthy and locks you in animation during the combo. The 6-fold Demon Slash also acts as your left mouse combo ender, so you cannot properly chain it into another left mouse attack. After the twofold Demon Slash, you can add a left or right directional input together with left mouse to get a Fade Slash instead of 6-fold Demon Slash. The Fade Slash is a much faster single-hit attack that will move you towards the chosen direction. Left Fade Slash moves you to the left while slashing with the left hand. Right Fade Slash moves you to the right while slashing with the right hand. Left mouse after a Fade Slash will lead to a Rising Slash that hits once with the right hand, regardless of left or right Fade Slash. This same Rising Slash can also be accessed by using left mouse after a dash dodge in demon mode. Left mouse after Rising Slash leads back into Demon Fangs, allowing you to restart your combo. Canceling into Fade Slash instead of 6-fold Demon Slash is obviously faster, but deals less damage and builds up less of your demon gauge, which is about 43% with Rising Slash included. Now let's look at your right mouse attacks in demon mode. Right mouse will give you the Demon Flurry Rush, which is a spinning attack that moves you forward while attacking, hitting 6 times in total, 3 hits per hand. Landing all the hits generates about 18% of your gauge. This can be used on its own or after most of your attacks, with some exceptions. This move does not cost stamina, and can be used in any chosen direction, which is great for repositioning offensively or defensively without spending stamina on a dodge. Keep in mind that dodging with this move will not have iframes though. The spin is always counterclockwise and the default traveling direction is forward if no direction is chosen. The damage of this move is not fantastic, but still considered pretty good given the speed of this move and its ability to reposition, which is excellent for initiating attacks if you need a gap closer. Left mouse after Demon Flurry Rush will give you a rising slash, but this version is slightly different. You will hit once with the right hand as well, but this version deals less damage using an uppercut, instead of a backhand slash like the one after a dodge or fade slash. Both versions of Rising Slash will generate the same amount of gauge, which is about 10%, and both versions can be chained into the same attacks, so left mouse will lead into Demon Fangs just as before. Right mouse after both versions of Rising Slash will lead into a round slash. Right mouse directly after Demon Flurry Rush also leads into a round slash. Without a directional input, the default round slash is always the left round slash, and you face forward after the attack. If you include a directional input at any angle towards the left, you will still get a left round slash, but will face your chosen direction after the attack. If you include a directional input at any angle towards the right, you will then get a right round slash instead, and will face your chosen direction after the attack as well. The left round slash hits 3 times in a counterclockwise spinning motion, twice with your left hand and once with your right hand. The right round slash hits 3 times in a clockwise spinning motion, twice with your right hand and once with your left hand. The two versions will otherwise have identical properties such as damage and build up for the demon gauge, which is 10% per hit, up to 30% if all 3 hits connect. The gauge build up is pretty good for such a quick attack. Right mouse again after the round slash will give you the double round slash, which is another 3-hit spinning attack, but will deal more damage and has less gauge build up. After a left round slash, you always get a left double round slash which also spins counterclockwise. After a right round slash, you always get a right double round slash which also spins clockwise. While the directional input used cannot change the choice of attack this time, you can still use it to determine where you face after the attack. Left mouse after round slash and double round slash will both lead to Demon Fangs. Finally, let's talk about your strongest attack. Double mouse in Demon mode will give you the Blade Dance, which is a very lengthy attack that hits 16 times in total, 8 hits per hand. It deals the highest damage out of all your moves but will lock you in place for the entire duration without the option to cancel out of it, so once you start the Blade Dance, you must commit to it until the entire animation is over. The final spin of this move also moves you forward. Needless to say, this is basically the dual blades high risk high reward move. The first 2 hits and the last hit will deal the most damage, and landing every hit will generate about 48% of your demon gauge, which is actually lower than your 6-fold combo, or double round slash combo. There's nothing difficult about using this move except for finding the right opening to use it, but even with the right openings, it can be annoying when your first 2 hits trigger a flinch on the monster while you dance in place and miss everything else. You can combo any demon mode attack into a Blade Dance, but cannot combo a Blade Dance into any attack, so there will always be a short pause before you can attack again. Next, let's talk about your attacks in normal and Archdemon mode. As a reminder, Archdemon mode is just an improved version of normal mode and automatically replaces a normal mode after you fully charge the demon gauge in demon mode. When your weapon is sheathed, neutral left mouse will ready your weapon in normal or Archdemon mode without attacking. Both modes will share the same left mouse combo which will deal the same damage, so using this combo in Archdemon mode will not consume anything from your demon gauge. To start the combo, left mouse will give you a double slash that hits once with each hand. After the double slash, left mouse again will give you the double slash return stroke, which again will hit once with each hand. After that, left mouse again will give you the circle slash that hits 3 times, twice with the right hand and once with the left hand. This attack is the finisher of the left mouse combo, so left mouse will just reset the same combo. This combo moves you forward, but honestly this combo is not used as often as other attacks. After a roll dodge, left mouse gives you a rising slash that hits once with your left hand, which is weaker than the rising slashes we learned in demon mode earlier. This is the same in both normal and Archdemon mode. Left mouse after rising slash leads back to double slash. Your right mouse attack is where it begins to be different for both modes. In normal mode, right mouse gives you the lunging strike which will move you forward and hits 4 times, twice with each hand. It can be used on its own or after most attacks, and after attacks you can use lunging strike towards the left or right. The left or right version only hits twice, once with each hand. We won't really discuss this move in detail since you shouldn't really be in normal mode. In Archdemon mode, your right mouse replaces the lunging strike with the Demon Flurry Rush instead, which is the same right mouse attack you have in demon mode, having the same exact properties, including the damage. When used in Archdemon mode, it will not build up your demon gauge, but will instead consume 10% from the demon gauge with each use. When your weapon is sheathed, forward left mouse will perform a draw attack with the lunging strike, and this is replaced with the Demon Flurry Rush yet again if your Archdemon mode is active. Left mouse after both moves will lead into a rising slash, which is the same attack after a dodge roll. Right mouse after lunging strike or Demon Flurry Rush will lead to a left or right round slash, with the same properties as they do in demon mode, so I will not explain them again. Right mouse after rising slash also gives you a round slash. Unlike in demon mode, you cannot chain your round slashes into double round slashes in normal or Archdemon mode. Since the round slash can be accessed in both normal and Archdemon mode, it will not consume anything from the gauge. Left mouse after round slash leads back to double slash. Lastly, double mouse in Archdemon mode will give you the Demon Flurry, which is commonly known as the mini blade dance. This attack is only available in Archdemon mode, so it consumes 20% of your gauge with each use. This attack hits 7 times in total, 3 times with the left hand and 4 times with the right hand, and the last 2 hits will deal the most damage. It can be used after any attack, but cannot be chained into any attacks. This attack is faster than your demon mode attacks, especially compared to the blade dance, but obviously deals less damage in comparison. It's a great damage dealing option for medium openings that are too short for your demon mode attacks, so be sure to switch modes based on the attacks you need. It's also the best damage dealer if you are in Archdemon mode to recover stamina. To summarize this chapter, normal mode and Archdemon mode will share the same attacks except for 2 moves, which are the Demon Flurry Rush replacing the lunging strike, and the Demon Flurry which is only for Archdemon mode, which is why these are the only 2 moves that consume part of the demon gauge to be used. Speaking of which, it is possible to use them one last time even if the demon gauge has less than 10% left, but as mentioned before, it is not recommended to let your demon gauge become completely empty because you want to avoid normal mode. Next, we'll talk about the aerial attacks, which is pretty interesting for the dual blades. In normal or Archdemon mode, using left mouse in the air will perform the jumping double slash, which can also be used as a draw attack if your weapon is sheathed. This hits twice, once with each hand, and keep in mind that the jumping double slash is the only attack that builds up mounting. Left mouse after landing will give you the rising slash. As mentioned before, demon mode can be activated and deactivated in the air, and left mouse after landing from activation gives you rising slash as well. If you are already in demon mode however, you will not be able to perform a jumping double slash, because jumping off a ledge will automatically lead to a mid-air spinning blade dance. The mid-air spinning blade dance is an interesting attack. If it connects and aligns properly with a monster at the right direction and angle, it can initiate a heavenly blade dance that will have you spin and deal damage all along the back of the monster, potentially all the way from head to tail, or tail to head, and works even if you start from the middle of its body. The longer the monster, the more hits it will do, though the damage of subsequent hits become lesser as the number of hits increase. You get a heavenly blade dance finisher at the end, which chains into a spinning blade dance finisher on the ground. These attacks do not consume or build up the gauge. If you activate demon mode while you are in the air, you can use left mouse to use the mid-air spinning blade dance as well. This is also possible if you drop off ledges in demon mode without jumping, but jumping off in demon mode directly leads to mid-air spinning blade dance as mentioned before. If your mid-air spinning blade dance doesn't lead to a heavenly blade dance, you can still use left mouse while mid-air to use the spinning blade dance finisher. Left mouse after landing from both of these attacks will give you the rising slash. For sliding, you can either use the usual sliding by sprinting down a slope with your weapon sheathed, or you can use right mouse in any mode with your weapon drawn to initiate a sliding slash that hits 4 times, twice with each hand. This also works with a draw attack if your weapon is sheathed. Since sliding slash automatically replaces any lunging strike or demon flurry rush, it will not consume anything from your demon gauge, and also does not build up your gauge even if used in demon mode. While sliding by any means, left mouse will initiate a mid-air spinning blade dance yet again, which is the same for normal, Archdemon and demon mode. Notice how you can change the direction of this attack too. In demon mode, dodge button while sliding will also initiate the mid-air spinning blade dance. In normal or Archdemon mode, dodge button while sliding actually makes you jump so that you can use jumping double slash to mount if you wish to. This also goes to show that you can never mount monsters in demon mode since you can never get a jumping double slash from both jumping or sliding. If you use a lunging strike, demon flurry rush, or a demon mode dash dodge towards some climbable walls, you will also initiate a mid-air spinning blade dance. This works with your draw attacks as well. In case you forgot, here's a reminder that the sliding and wall running versions of mid-air spinning blade dance will also trigger the heavenly blade dance as usual. For the mount finisher, you will perform an attack that hits 17 times in total. The mounting finisher does not interact with the demon gauge in any way. Next we will look at the evade shot as well as your clutch claw attacks, which are only available with Iceborne. After any left mouse or double mouse attacks, using the slinger aim button will give you the evade shot as long as you are equipping any slinger ammo. You will perform a dodge while simultaneously firing a slinger burst shot. You cannot use it after any right mouse attacks. The default dodging direction is forward, but you can add directional inputs to dodge to the side or backwards. Evade shot provides more iframes as well as dodging distance when used in demon mode, and the iframes are more than even your demon mode dash dodge. But when used outside of demon mode, it has less iframes and dodging distance, and the iframes become less than even a normal roll dodge, so it's better to use it in demon mode. Left mouse after evade shot will give you the rising slash, much like after your roll dodge or dash dodge. Evade shot can trigger the evasion mantle damage buff, and can be improved by both evade window and evade extender. Evade shot costs less stamina to use than your dodges as well, though the overall animation is slower and requires an attack before it. The slinger burst can also be used offensively to apply slinger effects, regardless of whether you are dodging attacks or not. Here are some examples. Next we will look at the clutch claw and special claw attack. First let's look at the basic clutch claw weapon attack, which will send you downwards and deal multiple hits on the way down. This will drop slinger ammo but will only build up half of the tenderizing debuff, so you need to use it twice on the same monster part to get it tenderized. As usual, 3 slaps and 1 weapon attack will tenderize the part since each slap adds 20% of the tenderized debuff. The Clutch Claw boost skill will allow you to tenderize monster parts in one use. However, you have a special Clutch Claw attack known as the Spinning Rising Slash that will tenderize the monster part in one use, without the need for Clutch Claw boost, but this will not drop slinger ammo. This attack costs stamina and hits 4 times, twice with each hand. It sends you spinning upwards instead of slashing downwards. Here's how you access the Spinning Rising Slash. After a left or right double round slash, use the Slinger Aim button to perform a special claw attack that will latch onto monsters with the Clutch Claw if it connects, and only works at melee range. Left mouse after latching on will perform the Spinning Rising Slash. Since you can only use the double round slash in demon mode, this special claw attack is also only available in demon mode, and here's a reminder on all the possible ways to access it, though some are more useful than others. Anything that leads into Rising Slash can basically lead to the round slash and claw combo. Some are less practical, but I basically want to include every possible combo here. The claw attack itself has a very limited angle of adjustment, so make use of the directional flexibility of double round slash to face where you want to claw. Being a demon mode attack, the Spinning Rising Slash also builds up your gauge for up to 60% if all hits connect. If you also land all the attacks that come before it, you can fully charge an empty gauge. The Spinning Rising Slash actually deals good damage, especially if you land all the attacks that come before it, though the combo is pretty slow. If you use left mouse immediately after latching on, you will stay in demon mode after the Spinning Rising Slash. But if you delay the left mouse slightly after latching on, you can see the demon mode turn off. You can still use the Spinning Rising Slash, but it will not build up your gauge, and you will not be in demon mode after landing. If you delay for even longer, then you will be in normal Clutch Claw state, where left mouse will only give you the normal tenderizing attack. After clutching on with this method, there's a delay before you can perform other actions. You can use this combo to deal damage and tenderize a monster part when you need to. Here are some examples. You can also use it to extend claw staggers while tenderizing at the same time. Here are some examples. Finally, let's finish up with a combat summary as usual. The dual blades are an easy weapon to learn, and the gameplay loop is about cycling between demon mode and archdemon mode, depending on the attacks you need. You will generally be using demon mode for its stronger attacks at the cost of stamina drain, while resting in archdemon mode to recover stamina, or to use specific attacks. Mix and adjust the length of your combos based on the opening size, and use Blade Dance for bigger openings without overcommitting. Use Demon Flurry Rush to reposition, and use the special claw attack to tenderize when needed. Make use of Evade Shot if the situation calls for it, since it does cost less stamina and provides more iframes than regular dodges, though it does have a slower animation and can only be used after attacks. The Slinger Burst effect from Evade Shot can also be useful when used properly. Here are a few things to keep in mind while playing with this weapon. First, this weapon has a very short reach, which is pretty obvious. Secondly, you can get locked in animation if you spam buttons mindlessly, which happens easily due to how fast the attack animations are. Thirdly, the most important thing to keep in mind is stamina management. So remember to keep an eye on your stamina bar, because running completely out of stamina at the wrong time can be a disaster. Since stamina management is so important, here are some armor skills that can help. Marathon Runner will reduce the amount of continuous stamina drain from things like sprinting in the Demon Mode stamina drain, so it's obviously useful. Constitution will reduce the stamina cost of moves that cost a fixed amount of stamina, such as dodging. It can be useful since dodging too much in Demon Mode can contribute to total stamina consumption. These skills are not compulsory or necessary to have, but can make stamina management easier and allow you to maintain Demon Mode for longer. Always eat food to max out your stamina before engaging in any fights. Consuming a dash juice will restore your stamina up to the cap and reduces stamina consumption for both continuous and fixed stamina drain, which is like Marathon Runner plus Constitution, but only for a limited duration. The effects of dash juice will stack with both Marathon Runner and Constitution for a stronger effect, but there is a cap where you can only have a total stamina cost reduction of 50%. Marathon Runner 3 and Constitution 5 would both put you at maximum reduction for their respective effects, so dash juice will not improve it further. Marathon Runner 2 and Constitution 3 would be enough if dash juice is used, which puts you close to the cap. The Feline Black Belt food skill from the canteen will only reduce fixed stamina consumption, not the continuous drain. Hunting Horn and Palico Horn buffs can also reduce your stamina consumption, but I would not expect it from others since it's not their job to manage your stamina, treat it as a bonus. Stamina Surge is also a useful skill that will improve your stamina recovery speed, which will only take effect when you deactivate Demon Mode because you cannot recover stamina during Demon Mode. The only way you can recover stamina in Demon Mode is if another player uses stamina consumables with wide range, or if you step into one of these Hunting Horn Echo Bubbles. These bubbles also extend your maximum stamina cap up to 200 instead of the usual 150. There are also armor set bonuses that can give you the 200 stamina cap. These sets can potentially make stamina management easier since you have more total stamina. Since dual blades attack with many smaller hits in rapid succession, they are really good at dishing out elemental damage, so boosting elemental damage is great, including critical element and the Safi set bonus. Frostcraft works surprisingly well with dual blades, boosting raw damage, and a Frostcraft set automatically comes with critical element too. Evade window and extender can be very useful too. We have arrived at the end of this video. I hope you found this useful somehow. Thank you for your time, and thanks for watching.